Good morning, everyone. Today we can discuss about Module 2 of Principles of Information Security. In first module, we had discussed about what is an information, how the security is provided for information, what are the main attacks and threats that is happening in an information, and how the security is provided by using an access control mechanism, what is access control matrix, how it is implemented, what is access control list, etc. So in this module, we are dealing with policies and models. So what is actually security policies? And what is actually security models? So security policy means it provides some abstract goal. Okay? And the security model which provides the do's and don'ts to necessarily fulfill the goals. You can see in the figure there are some security policies, and for building a system or for producing a system, we can use this security policy, and these will be implemented by using some security models, and based on some computer code or programming, this can be applied in a system or product. So you can see in this figure, security policy means which is an abstract objectives, goals and requirements or rules or practice for a framework. And what is security model? It is something like a relationship, or it's a mathematical relationships and formulas. Also, it includes some specification and data structures that is needed for implementing these policies in a system or in a product. And how it is implemented in a product, or how we build the product by using the security policies and security models, we can use some programming methods to implement this. Finally, what we got is a product or a system which includes all the security policies. Clear? So, in detail, what is security policy? Which gives some security requirements for an organization, or it outlines the security requirements for an organization. Actually, it represents some objectives or goals of a system, or it is a set of rules and practices that dictates how the sensitive information, how the information and resources are managed, or it can be protected or distributed, or what are the rules and what are the practices that we are using for giving some protection for information, or how this information or resources are managed, or how these are protected by using some rules and practices. These are actually security policies. So what it means is it expresses what the security level should be by setting the goals of what the security mechanisms are supposed to accomplish. Also, it provides some framework for the system's security architecture. If we are implementing a system, it should be protected. All the resources must be protected or managed well. For that, we need some security policies. They are actually some set of rules or practices, or they represent the objectives and goals of a system. But it provides some security requirements. or it outlines the security requirements for a organization. Actually, security policy means its subjects need to be authorized to access the objects. That is actually the policy. We have subjects and we have objects for a particular system. If the subject is accessing the object, there is a need of authorization. So if the subjects are need to be authorized to access the object, that is the policy behind that system. Clear? Next, so we have a security policy and how it is implemented by using some security model. So what is actually security model? It is actually a mathematical representation, or it is a symbolic representation of a policy which outlines the requirements needed to support the security policy and how authorization is enforced. Also, it maps abstract goals of the policy to information system terms by specifying explicit data structures and techniques that are necessary to enforce the security policy. So the security model is actually a mathematical representation or symbolic representation of the security policy. It actually maps the abstract goals of a policy to information system terms by using some data structures and by using some techniques that are necessary to provide some security policy. Also, it maps the desires of the policy makers into a set of rules that computer system must follow. It is usually represented in mathematics and analytical ideas, which are then mapped to system specifications and then developed by programmers through programming codes. So we have security policy and we have security models for implementing this. Then we can use programming codes to produce a specific system or a protected system. So it derives the mathematical relationships and formulas explaining how X can access Y only through outlined specific methods. It develops specifications to provide bridge to what this means in a computing environment and how it maps to components and mechanisms that need to be coded out and developed. So we can write the program code to produce a particular system which is under protection or which is under implemented by using the security policies and security models. So this mechanism actually presents the network administrator with a GUI representation like checkboxes to choose which subjects can access the objects, etc. So what is actually security policy and security model? Security policy means it's an abstract goals or requirements of the system which is to be protected, and security model means it's actually a mathematical relationship or they are do's and don'ts to necessarily fulfill the goals. So we have a large number of security models. Actually, we have three main security requirements are there. One is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. We had already discussed in first module, right? So for implementing or for achieving these security requirements, we have a large number of security models like Bell-LaPadula model, BIBA model, Clark-Wilson model, access control metrics, information flow model, non-interference model, Chinese wall model, lattice model, we have waterfall model, etc. like that. Okay, so we have a large number of security models for providing these security requirements. We have three main security requirements: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay, we can study in detail of these security models in later chapters. So What do you mean by a confidentiality policy, or what are the goals of confidentiality policy? Confidentiality means it is one of the main system requirement. So the confidentiality policies means the policies which are used for providing confidentiality, which emphasize the protection of confidentiality. Also, it's called an information flow policy, and it prevents unauthorized disclosure of information. Actually, multi-level securities are the best known examples for providing confidentiality policies. Bell LaPadula model is one of the main example for, or it's one of the main model for providing confidentiality policies. Okay, so the main goal of a confidentiality policy means we have to provide some protection of confidentiality, or we have to prevent some unauthorized disclosure of information. So one of the main security model coming under this is Bell LaPadula model. So these are all about the introduction part of security policies and models. We can study main four models in this chapter. In later videos, we can discuss Bell LaPadula model, Biba model, waterfall model, Clark Wilson model, etc. Okay, thank you.